my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
hey there, welcome back to Actually Aubrey, and we're back today for the weekly BELLE Collective Season 2, Episode 4, Air Wars. Hey Alex, how you doing?
Air Wars. Is that what that is? Air Wars?
Yeah.
The name of the episode escaped me.
Air Wars,
Okay.
yeah.
Air Wars, okay.
I guess, because you got Akeisha, who's, the first lady of Jackson, Mississippi. Let her tell it, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, let her tell it.
Let
she
her
gotta,
tell it.
She gotta give Letitia grand tours if Letitia doesn't live there. So
Right. Yeah, that's kind of funny, isn't it? We'll get to that part, but that's kind of funny. Hey there.
Monique King in the chat. What's up, Monique?
Monique, how you doing today? Hey, A-teamer and moderator extraordinaire. Yeah, happy Monday, right? I'm on my third cup of coffee right now, so yeah, happy Monday.
Number 3, how much sugar?
Look, mind your business. Mind your business.
Number 3. Woo-wee.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long day.
What flavor creamer?
Oh, I love Italian cream. You know that.
Oh, the sweet cream. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Italian sweet cream. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Italian sweet cream.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. That's like crack. I'm telling you.
It is. Hey.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. That Italian sweet cream is the bomb.
Yeah.
It's the bomb diggity. And Michigan cherry flavored coffee is also the bomb diggity too.
Yeah, I need to try some of that one of these days. They don't have it over here. That's much a Michigan thing.
I'll have to bring you some.
Yeah, bring me some.
I'll bring you some, all right.
Yeah. Bring me that cherry.
Michigan cherry. Coffee. Get your mind out the gutter. Oh my God.
You said it's cherry.
Monique, you see what kind of harassment I have to put up with over here?
Oh boy.
But we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, this was an interesting episode.
Very.
Let me see. Let me scroll past because I've got some. Okay, here we go.
They're getting on my nerve with trying to just force these friendships. It's like that's starting to get.
But
tiring.
that's the whole barometer. That's the whole backdrop of reality TV. They get the characters together. They decide. And I think it's kind of based on probably who might clash. If you think about it, that's just the barometer. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, they gotta have a drama, but it's like you don't have to force these friendships though. It's just
it's to me, it's not about. It's like, you know what? It's a job. Okay, so these people are paying you $5, $10, $20, $30, whatever, $50,000 an episode. Let's say for the bigger dramas, the more established ones like Real Housewives, whatever. They're paying you all this money. So the thing of it is, to me, it's a work situation. Yeah. And they're not forcing friendships. They're getting people. They're trying to see, how do you relate to other people? So if people took it like that, like, hey, how do I relate to this person? I need to be in this scene so I can get paid this week. So what about it? Go do your work. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's a business. So, I mean, if you look at it that way, but of course, I do understand they're all human, and your emotions and what people do and say to you starts to affect how you relate to them, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's a little bit of it. But so Letitia, like you said, Akeisha and Letitia meet up to discuss the Ferris Street revitalization. And you go ahead. You were saying something about how Akeisha was actually showing Letitia around her own home. Can you imagine? It's like somebody comes inside your home and they say, "Okay, let me show you where the bathrooms are in the bedroom."
You know what? You know what that's like? It reminded me of somebody taking me to Brooklyn, New York, and showing me around. It's like, bruh, this is where I grew up. I lived here 40 years. What are you doing? You know that's what it was like.
But maybe it's changed since you left. You know,
And
you moved away. You've been gone for a while. Things have changed.
I've been back and forth many times. I've never left home that long. I've been back and forth. So somebody take me to Brooklyn, New York, and show me, oh, this is a Barclays Center. Oh, this is downtown Brooklyn. I'm looking at them like they crazy. You know?
Yeah, so you're right. I guess I can see why Letitia was a little bit like what in the world, lady? What are you doing?
And there was a chance for Akeisha really to kind of, stick an elbow in the rib cage of Letitia to be like, my great grandfather, they bought this building in 1896 and this and that, and they ran this building, and we're gonna break ground, and kind of just bringing her lineage into it again to show that she has royalty there or somewhere, whatever she thinks it is.
Well, right. Well, hence the title, Heir Wars.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, hence the title. Yeah.
So,
but I will say this though. I did enjoy, as an outsider now, I'm not from there. I did enjoy that Akeisha kind of really took the time to explain something about Ferris Street that I didn't know from the earlier episodes and even last season. And maybe I missed it, so I don't know. But the fact that these buildings were built by enslaved African people, right? And African Americans. So they were built back, hundreds of years ago. And this is part of the history. And that also that land that was like the one of the major plantations in Jackson, Mississippi. It was a huge plantation there before they tore it down and built those commercial buildings. That was interesting to me.
Yeah, and her ancestors bought those buildings when Black people couldn't even. It was against the law for us to own buildings and property.
Right.
So that was huge too.
Her grandfather or great grandfather actually took the money and gave it to a Caucasian man who then bought it and then gave him the deed and gave it back to him.
Right. So the tricks we had to use to even buy property,
Yeah,
and this is Mississippi still, so it's still at the height of racist, crap, allegedly, but that's Mississippi. So
yeah, well, I don't know what Mississippi is like. Unfortunately, I have a very close friend of mine that lives there and had moved away to Michigan to go back. They actually have a town named after her maiden name. Like, so, there's a whole town. So that's an interesting thought. In fact, I'll have to ask her the history behind that. How did that town, because you can only imagine that it probably goes back to perhaps maybe someone in the family lineage wise was a slave owner, right? And that was part of their history. I don't know that for a fact, but I just thought about it. But anyway, she's been down there, but I've never visited, so I don't know a lot about Mississippi. The little things I do know, I don't know how much I really am interested in visiting. So
I tell you, Mississippi had them sundown towns. Which
a lot of places
famous.
though, even up north, a lot of places have sundown towns.
Yeah,
did you know that?
Yeah, I didn't know about up north. I know in them southern states they definitely got sundown towns.
They're around this country. It's not just a southern thing. Trust and believe that.
It's crazy, but you know what? I do applaud Letitia for putting her ego aside, because her thing was like, I don't care who lead, as long as we're going in the same direction. Because Akeisha wants to be the leader apparently. And she's saying things like, well, she don't know what part Letitia wants to play, but at the end of the day, she's gonna have to have some money in her pocket. Well, you
I know
do
that.
well,
I
you
know
do
that's
too.
right. I ain't mad at Akeisha. I think Akeisha probably has some money in her pocket.
She do.
I mean, I don't know what Letitia has. I'm not saying she doesn't. But now, I have to say this. I'm not mad at Akeisha for saying, look, she simply does not want to work with Marie. Marie is too combative. I don't blame her. You blame her?
That was my other gripe. Why do you have to bring Marie into this situation? You don't have to bring Marie into this situation. It's like Letitia tries to put Marie in everything she's doing. You don't have to do that. There are things that are suitable for Marie and then other things that are not. So leave her out of it. They don't get along. She don't like the woman. Akeisha don't like the woman. Leave it alone. So if Marie can't bring any value to the project, why bring her in on it? For what? She has enough to do. She got enough on her shoulders. If you're her friend, why put something else on a fragile woman's shoulders? If you're her friend, she got enough going on.
And that's funny that you would say that. You said fragile because I do see that too. I think that when we stop and think about Marie, Marie likes to come across as this resilient woman, as this bravado and this bold, outspoken woman. But really, when I look at her and her behavior, like when she just starts stomping off, going off, it's like a little child. And I really do think that's a hurt, that's still the unresolved hurt going back to her childhood when her mom basically left the family because she was an addict and
Yeah.
she really had to be literally raised by her father.
Mm.
So we know that men tend to act out in anger, and society applauds their anger because they don't see it as weakness. So Marie is doing the same thing. She's acting out in anger when actually all it is hurt. She's hurt,
Right.
and
She's hurt. Very.
she doesn't know how to tend to herself, and she doesn't know how to control her emotions. That's what I see anyway.
Yeah. And she don't know how to mitigate the pain or the anger. She just keep piling more stuff on.
Oh, wait a minute. You got to read this. I can't believe Monique
Yeah,
King.
Monique is
Monique King,
crazy.
put your hand out. I'm going to say like Chloe Johnson.
Bell Collective is probably still getting paid in Walmart gift cards. I don't know if it's that bad. I don't know if it's that low.
Oh
But
my gosh.
they're not getting Real Housewives of Atlanta money. I'll say
No,
that.
no,
You
they're
know.
not getting it. But you know what? Like I said, it's some good money. It has to be some good money in it because here's the thing. Most of the women that have returned, that came back, and all came back except for one who is a
Mhm.
very prominent dentist,
Right.
and she was getting her practice off the ground. So, we know she's making good money. But look, they all came back. And here's the thing, they came back and they've all had work done. Because
Mhm.
even what is it, Latrice? Even Latrice says, "Hey, I'm proud that I had my girls done."
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't think it's I mean it's not Real Housewife money, but let's say even if it's 5,000 episode, or 5-10,000, that's not nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
They do
Latrice.
12, they do 10-12 episodes. Look at how much that is. Let's say 10,000. So 12 episodes, 120,000 extra just to deal with these people that you maybe, like you said, maybe you don't like them. I don't care. It's just a work situation. If I was in it, that's the way I would take it.
Well, how many people we work with regular jobs we don't like, but we go to work every day?
Exactly. And you can't be all up in their face, swinging on them, cussing them
No.
out. You just
Mm-mm.
deal with it.
Yeah, and I think Latrice got her girls done too. It looks like it to me.
No, I
She's
said
a
Latrice. No, Latrice. That's the one I said. That's what
oh,
I meant.
I think you said Lakeisha. Okay, my bad.
No, I meant, yeah, no, Latrice. I'm
Letitia.
not sure if Lakeisha. I don't know. Some people are
Letitia.
saying that she had Letitia.
Yeah.
Some people are saying that Letitia in that last scene on this episode. We'll get to that. They're saying some people are saying that she might have had a BBL, the Brazilian butt
Oh, the
lift.
butt lift. Oh,
I don't know.
I don't see why she would need it, but okay.
I don't. Like I say, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, put up Donna D's comment. What's up, Donna D? Put up.
I mean,
I
yeah.
want
Hey,
I want to
Donna
address.
D.
Yeah, I want to
I,
address this.
okay, read that. Read it for me
Donna
then.
D says, I don't think Letitia should let Keisha take over. They can work
Ooh.
together, but Letitia had the idea first. You know, I agree with that, but Letitia understands something, and I understood this in my business where I make films and stuff like that. And that sometimes the project comes before the ego. The assignment comes before the ego.
Yep.
And Lakeisha is not going to let Akeisha take over, but she's saying if she wants to stand out front and whatever she wants to do, fine. We're going to get this thing done. And when I need to step in and assert myself, I'll step in and assert myself. That's what she's saying. Because sometimes true leaders lead from the rear.
Or as a collaborative. Sometimes you have to be a collaborative. And the thing about that is having the idea first, but you have the idea, but it was mighty funny last season. I think that's a good point, Donna D. But when they came to giving her the estimates on what it would cost to revamp one of those buildings, and they got into the millions, did you see Letitia's face? Didn't look like Letitia was ready to necessarily finance that. So I'm just saying,
because this is about millions. You know what I mean? So it's a
wanna-
lot of money.
you want to share that one too? That's on the screen. The other
Yeah, Donna D says, I think Letitia talked to Marie first about the Ferry Street project. I believe Letitia is being loyal to her friend by wanting to keep Marie in the loop. Yeah, she is being loyal to her friend to a fault. Because at this point, Marie can't handle any more pressure, anything else on her plate. She just cannot do it. She got enough. Matter of fact, the stuff on Marie's plate, she needs to start eliminating some of that stuff. What's up, Francis? What's going on, Francis? Francis
I was
Robinson.
just about to say, yeah. Hey, Frank, is this someone you know too?
Yes, that is someone I know actually.
Oh, okay.
Came to visit us in the house.
Hey, in the house. Welcome. Monique King, our moderator, says welcome also. Woo.
Yeah. And Ellen V in the place to be.
Yeah, Ellen V. And then she says she likes that I calls her Lady Ellen.
No, okay.
I likes. I like that too. Ooh, that has a ring to it. Queen Aubrey,
huh? You like that,
Alex, go get me some grapes, okay?
Yeah.
and peel the skin off of them while you're at it.
Okay, well, you wait for it. It's on the way. Wait for it.
It's on the way. Okay, we'll get back to these notes here. And so, Keisha, yeah, she only wants to work with Letitia for now. I kind of get that. Like you said, that what were you saying real quick, and we're gonna move on. What were you saying? The last thing you were saying about Lakeisha kind of wants to work with Marie to a fault.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is to a fault because she wants to be loyal to her friend. Mm-hmm. Because she wants to include her friend. If there's some money to be made, let's make it together. So I respect that, but you also have to respect the fact that your friend's health right now, mental health and physical health, is in jeopardy
with the lupus. Yeah, with that lupus. Yeah,
and her mental
go ahead.
Her mental and emotional health as well. All that's in jeopardy. You can't put any more pressure on this woman. She's going to break.
Yeah, she's already breaking. Look at how she cracks up at the brunch last time. So yeah, you have a very good point. Well, in the next scene, we have Marie goes over to Letitia's workplace, her new office, and Marie basically decides that she's quitting the brunches, and she's gonna solve the problem by quitting the brunches. What were your thoughts about that?
I applaud her for that. Okay. I applaud her for understanding her boundary at this point. And she's saying, listen, I want you to excel. If I keep coming to these brunches, you're not going to elevate in this project because I don't like these women. I don't like these people. Okay. And I have to consider my own health right now. Yes. I got too much on my plate. So I think she's being a bigger woman to admit, her boundary. And then Lakeisha's still trying to talk her into it. Letitia's still trying to talk her into it. No, leave the woman alone. Let her walk.
Why do you feel that Letitia is still trying to talk Marie into it? It's also I feel like Letitia has unresolved issues too. And I hate to be saying this is about everybody, but we all have a lot of things going on. And sometimes they're unresolved. Like, we see it at the end of this episode with Letitia and her husband, Glenn, right? Her estranged husband. They've been separated for a while. I feel like she needs validation from the outside instead of working from the inside out with validation and validating yourself. I feel like there's some part of her that hasn't quite developed and matured fully, that she can accept that she can validate herself, that she doesn't need her husband to validate her, and she doesn't need Marie to validate her.
Well, regarding her relationship, and we'll get to that later, she's a big grown woman still living in that 17-year-old girl's body. She got that 17-year-old girl
mindset.
Mindset.
She wish she had that 17.
Not that body at 17. You're right about that. But
the mindset. The
17-year-old mindset. She's still living with that dream she had at 17.
Yeah, see, that's kind of where I'm seeing too. It's like that's a very good point. Oh, that's where the trauma took place, somewhere in there when they got married, or they, were doing whatever they were doing relationally wise, her and Glenn, Letitia and Glenn, right?
Right.
That's where she got traumatized, and she's not really healed. Sounds like maybe she possibly hasn't healed from that. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
How can you possibly heal when somebody keeps doing the same thing to you over and over again? They say sorry 1 minute, do it again. Sorry again, they do it again.
I would get rid of him. Like, what's the problem? Get rid of him.
Well, apparently she can't, because she still got this dream she had when she was 17 of a white picket fence or whatever we dream about. That the dream we
whatever
were sold.
She dreams about. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think, probably I had this with a girlfriend of mine years ago. Her thing was that she really and I get it. I can appreciate this. I think this is a very noble ideal, and you want it for your children. You want it for yourself to keep your family intact. That the man you started with, the husband you started with, will be there for your children, all of you, both of your children, and you'll be in the same household. You want that. You want to raise those kids up and do all of those things. That is, you're right, that's the ideal that we have, a lot of us as women. But if the husband doesn't share that same ideal, and he's got this backwards what I call a W culture, fill in the blank for what that W stands for, and his whole thing is getting as many women, is getting as many cookies as he can, and then coming back home to be comfortable with you because he knows you and he's familiar with you, that's not going to ever work.
And
You
look,
have to start with
and
somebody that has the same ideals that you have.
and if you train him to know that you're not going to go anywhere no matter what he does, because
Exactly.
that's his attitude.
That is his attitude.
But
Well,
I want to really get deep into them when we get to that part.
okay. Well, I think that's well, okay. Okay, so the next scene, we know that Glenn goes over to Mama Faye's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just having a real hard time with this, so you're gonna have to do some talking, so I'm not on this my PG-13 podcast cursing. 'Cause I'm having a real hard time with him. Like, he think he can slick talk. What is it? Mama said he slick like boiled okra.
Boiled okra. Oh, and that's slick.
That was funny. I never heard that. Had you ever
'Cause
heard that Southern saying?
I never heard it before, but okra is slimy and slick. So if it's boiled, it's really slick.
He's definitely slimy. But go ahead, tell me what your thoughts were about this scene where he's talking to Mom. It's almost like that's his mother, because I guess he kind of grew up 17, 18. He's been around her for the last 20 some odd years around this woman.
Yeah, and I'm sure she loves him, but that's still her daughter,
Yeah.
and according to him, she's the type that's honest. She don't really take sides. She gonna tell you like it is and so forth. But when she did tell him like it was, he didn't like to hear it. So if you go to this woman and ask for her advice, and she's telling you, you the one ran this into the ditch. You're the reason she don't trust anybody. I mean, you got to take that and accept it. You went over there for this reason. What you think? The woman gonna pat you on the back? Thank you for hurting my daughter time and time again. Thank you for bringing a child into your marriage. Thank you for making my child cry. Thank you so much. That's not what she's going to do. If you came over there for honesty, then accept the honesty. But see, he think he going to stick talk her mama. Then her mama going to call Letitia and go, Glenn was just here. He looks so pitiful. Take him back. All this not. That's what he's hoping for. He's still running game. Instead of being honest and accepting responsibility for what he did, he can say that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not the words, it's the actions.
Let me ask you a question. I got the sneaking suspicion watching this scene that not this time necessarily, but in the past, over these 20 years that they've been together, and he's been cheating and back with his wife and cheating and back with his wife. I got the sneaking suspicion that Mama Faye may have actually talked her daughter into going back to him more than once. Did you have that feeling or vibe at all?
I didn't get that, but you're probably right. This is probably why he's so comfortable going over there to speak to her. Because I'm not sure if his own mother's still alive or not. Is she? I'm not sure about that. But why can't he go to his own people and discuss, the situation? Why does he have to go to his wife's mother?
Well, I mean, his mother, and assuming that his mom is still alive, his mom is not going to have the same pull on his wife. His mom is his wife's mother-in-law. So, I mean, sometimes you have a great relationship with your mother-in-law if you're really blessed and fortunate, but not all the time. Your mother, your own mother that raised you, or the woman that raised you, or your grandmother, whomever that person, that woman was, is going to have much more pull on you than probably your mother-in-law.
You know what though, Aubrey? If for me it's just frustrating because game knows game. I've done that most of my life. What he's doing, so I know what he's doing, and it just is frustrating that she sits there and listens to that. Not so much her the teacher's mother, but the teacher herself listens to that. Because I wouldn't even listen to him at this point.
Oh, so you kind of like you like that cartoon character. All you was hearing was wah 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 wah
Yeah,
wah.
that's it. The
I yeah. What were you
Charlie
saying?
Brown, the Peanuts. That's it. Wah wah
Yeah.
wah wah wah. That's it.
I'm like you. I'm like I kind of started to turn him off. You know, like I said, I think the mother. I definitely got the feeling because she was so calm and cool and collected. But like she said, she kind of caught herself. She said, "Oh, wait a minute. You know what? You kind of like boiled okra." I think. I think that was it. I think she's talked her daughter into. And here's the thing: I've heard from friends that in the South, there's oftentimes this real concept that is true that married women will sometimes stand, and even unmarried women will stand by a man even when they know he's no good. And what a lot of women like to do is they like to get fighting mad and want to go chase after the other woman, which I think is totally ridiculous because how did it get to like not saying it is right or anything for somebody to if they know the man is married to engage with him like that to that level, but why aren't you holding the person that you actually took your vows with? Why aren't you holding them responsible? If this is the
Mm.
person that you're living with, why aren't you holding them responsible? I never understood this whole concept of I'm gonna go fight the other woman. Like, really? For
Yeah,
real?
because women always spouting this stuff about womanhood. We must stick together, black girl magic, and all that, and turn around and sleep with your husband. So that's why a lot of times the women go after the woman because don't preach about black girl magic and sisterhood and we all
I didn't
together
think
as
Black
one.
Girl Magic had anything to do with sleeping with or not sleeping with anybody's husband. Black Girl
But
Magic is about empowerment and being
togetherness,
resilient.
empowerment, togetherness, all that stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
don't
you
turn around and
said
sleep with
like
my
all
husband.
black women are doing that. So let's.
It's never all. I never say all.
I know you didn't say it, but I'm just saying. But you kind of it was kind of a general like black girl
Mm,
magic. Some women
hmm
have had affairs or slept
mm.
with somebody else's husband
And,
knowingly. And
and
let's
look,
be real, some men are out here not wearing their wedding rings, not being a full, whole, honest man, and you don't know. Women don't know they're married. Okay,
you,
let's be real about that. Especially this guy being on a ship and being down the road. He's probably. I'm not surprised. That's a common thing for a guy to have a whole nother family down the road somewhere in another city when you work somewhere far off from your family.
and it
That's
happens often.
that's
That
common.
happens often. Yeah, it
That's
happens
common. So
often.
I again, but I'm not. My thing is all that aside. I can say black girl magic and still have that love in my heart and that fellowship with other black women. But again, I'm a person. I'm not holding the other woman responsible. I mean, like
Mm,
unless she's my girlfriend. If she's my
mm.
personal girlfriend, oh, now it's on and bumping. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with
You're my
Wendy
personal
Williams,
girlfriend, and you actually went behind my back and did something with my husband.
and that
I mean,
happens too.
that happens too, but I'm saying, but 9 times out of 10 is more, it's more common that people are actually having affairs and relationships with somebody at work that you don't know,
Hmm.
somebody down the road that you don't know. And I'm just saying, in those cases, I don't really see the point. Why are people, women going after the woman? Why don't you deal with your husband? But see, the problem with that is if you were to actually deal with him and actually talk to him and find out that he had no other reason except that he's basically a whore, and you knew
Hmm.
he was a whore when you got with him because
Hmm.
everything about him was whorish, right?
Hmm.
And you decided that you're going to keep this man regardless of his behavior, but you want to hold everybody else accountable except for the person that took the vow with you. That's just utterly ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, and I saw a meme a few months ago that just kind of just shook me to my core because it was funny, but it was so true. And the meme said, "A man literally does not have to lie to a woman. If she likes him enough, she'll lie to herself." And
Oh
and
wow, that's
and
deep.
and and when I think about some of these women on some of these shows, that's exactly what I think about.
Wow. Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, it
Wow.
is. It shook
Gives
me. I
me.
was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm a writer, and it never occurred to me to write nothing like that.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time, and then we're gonna move on with the notes. Go ahead. Say it one more
Yeah,
time.
it's a man literally does not have to lie to a woman. If she likes him enough, she'll lie to herself.
Well, that actually makes sense. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That actually makes sense. That happens. People lie to themselves all the time. Don't we say when we're doing these reality show recaps and reviews that some of these people are actually delusional in their
Delusional. Yeah.
thought. I mean, and even when the man, like you said, even when the man is basically telling them what it is, they're still being delusional, saying, "Well, I'm gonna make him change his mind. I'm gonna make him love me." That kind of thing.
Right.
No,
Right.
you're not. You're not gonna make him love you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So we see.
Lexus RoboCop dude. That's a new name. What's up?
Yeah. He's been here before. Hey,
Oh yeah.
Lexus, good to see you. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a regular supporter. Thanks for coming, stopping by. Appreciate it. So we see in the next scene, we see that Akeisha and her husband Willie, Big Willie,
Yeah.
they go to the coffee shop and they kind of, she even says, "Hey, I'm gonna pay for your caramel frappuccino, whatever." And they sit down and they're talking about moving back to Jackson, and he's kind of like, "I don't know." Now you handle this. You can talk about this because he's actually from New York, like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's a tough adjustment because being from New York, moving to Virginia, where I'm at now, that's a tough adjustment because in New York, you just have everything. Access is everything in New York. Nothing closes. Everything is within a few feet of you. I'm talking about liquor stores, grocery stores, everything. It's the financial hub of the country is in New York. So it's easy to get caught up in that kind of lifestyle. You have to get to a point where you just want complete quiet. you want complete calm and say, I had enough of New York and I'm out. So a person has to be ready for that. I don't think Willie's ready to leave that kind of life behind because
Okay.
it's gonna be totally different in Jackson. It's gonna be nothing but quiet. Okay, things are not going to be as accessible. You have to drive everywhere. In New York, you can walk everywhere. But in a place like Jackson or a lot of these southern states, you got to get in the car and drive everywhere. And thus, why people put on weight more in the South, because you can't walk anywhere. You're not getting any exercise. You got to literally get in the car to go and buy groceries. In New York, you can walk to the grocery store.
And I got a sense too, it sounds like his family is there,
Yeah,
his mom,
yeah.
his dad, his cousins, and all that kind of thing. But she's gonna talk, and we're gonna get to it later. She's gonna talk to him and say, having my mom and dad or my family come up for the holidays, so maybe now it's time for your family to kind of come down and visit us down here. I've sacrificed, and for 10, 11 years or whatever they've been together, and kind of stuck to New York because that's where your home was and also where your work was. But it seems like he's probably retired, so why don't you come down here, because I've got to have my eyes on this millions of dollars we're going to be investing in Ferris Street, right?
Without a doubt. I agree with her 100% with that.
Yeah,
you got to be there every day with that.
Right, because you could be calling back from New York and they telling you they doing XYZ, and meanwhile they sitting around eating a Subway sandwich or whatever
and stealing money.
He says stealing, not the money stealing.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll figure it out. They'll find a way. If you're not present, they'll figure out a way.
Yeah, you don't want that. You got to always keep your eye on money. My mom used to say, even like when you own a store, you can't just leave it to hire workers and then never come in and work alongside the workers, work alongside the cashiers. You've got to definitely have yourself in there with that money. You really do.
Yeah.
So we see in the next scene, we see that Akeisha once again. So she meets up with Soguchi or Sophia, and she's looking at this home. She's looking at this
beautiful home. Beautiful home.
You liked it?
Yeah. Beautiful home, nice size.
I did too. And so her husband comes in a few minutes later through the mud room, so he's checking everything out, and he says, "Well, hey," he's letting everybody know when her and him get to sit down and talk. He says, "Hey, in the confessional, well, we come from a very large home," and he says, "Well, yeah, a mansion with a pool."
Right.
He's not shy about letting us know that he got it going on. They got it going on back at home.
Yeah, they got according to them an 11,000 square foot home in New Jersey.
Gosh.
And the home they're looking at now, I think at this place is, I think, what was it, like 2,000-3,000, something like that, 4,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that house they were looking at, I think, was like a mini mansion, like 5,000. Yeah.
So he was getting his little brag on, too. I guess that's they made for each other. They both do that, you know.
Well, yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it was probably a little bit for the show too. I don't know. I don't know them, but I think it was a little bit for the show.
But
What
I
do you
but I
think?
but I'll say this in the Keisha's defense. Okay, she's been in Jersey over 10 years. You know, appeasing you, your family. Her family comes back and forth from Jackson to New Jersey to mingle with you guys and have events and so forth. This is a marriage now. It's time for you to come to her side and let her accomplish her project. Okay, this what this is about. If she went to your neck of the woods for 10 years away from her home,
Right,
you can at least give her 2 years in her home. At least
right.
give her that. So I agree with her there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I think so. What did she call it? She said, you could be the Barack to my Michelle, Barack
Right.
Obama to my Michelle Obama. I thought that was catchy, and I thought it was very cool too. Like, yeah, like sometimes when you have these two high powered people in one marriage, someone has to compromise and say, not necessarily dim their shine or dim their light, but they have to allow the other person to, maybe the kids are a little bit older now it's her turn to kind of like get her career on. This is a goal that she's had, and I like the fact that it's not only just her career goal, but it's something that's going to benefit the community.
Right. Exactly. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, and also too, Aubrey. I'm not sure if you see this, but D kind of just echoed what I just said.
Oh, wait a minute, let
Um,
me go back because
in
I was
in
just about
in the chat.
see, right here, but
Yes. Yes. That's
yes.
basically yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know. So
Oh,
read
yeah.
that.
Fair is fair. D says, "Hey D, fair is fair." Akeisha, spent 10 years at his wishes and his beck and call. Yes, indeed. And now it's her turn or his turn. It's hard uprooting the children, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. That's actually a
Yeah.
good point. It can be hard, but I'm imagining. I don't know. They've been married 10 years, so let me just assume. And it was a couple of years they struggled trying to get pregnant. So I'm going to assume that these kids are maybe 4, 5, 6,
7.
7. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 7. Not necessarily. Pretty much a 7-year-old. As long as they were mom and dad, they're happy.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, you got the basics. You got the basics covered. They got housing. They got food. They got clothing. And we don't know how many kids are in that neighborhood, but it sounded like it was a nice neighborhood. So I'm sure they're going to be play situations and play dates and things that they can go to. They're going to probably join the local church. So you're going to build your community wherever you are. Especially people that have access to money.
Yeah.
You look at people that got access to money. There's always something going on for them because they can afford to put their kids in extracurricular activities. They can afford to have a nanny come in and work with the children so that even if
Right.
Akeisha is working from home, someone will always be with the kids to kind of give them that attention that they need and give them direction and give them activities to play and do. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good point. Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
so
because
those.
you get a house that size, you're
Mm-hmm.
not cleaning it.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? You're
Mm-mm.
not cleaning
Oh
that
no.
house.
Oh no, no, that's not gonna
So
happen. But what did you think about it? Was kind of funny though that Willie said, you're trying to kidnap me. You're trying to kidnap me and bring me down here to this slow town. I mean, like
right.
Mississippi is nice, but it's so
It's slow.
slow.
It's slow. Yeah, it's slow. Yeah, she tried to get him to define the difference between country and southern, you know. And there is a difference between being country and being southern. You know,
Tell me what the difference is. What is the difference between country and southern? I
when
want to know.
when you southern, you got that good southern hospitality. You know, you invite people over, you bring them cookies, you guys have tea parties, things of
Okay.
that nature. But when you country, you backwoods. You know, you back there. You know, you back there
Hmm.
grilling squirrels and stuff. You know,
What?
yeah, you
Oh, you just turned my
you might
stomach. I'm not gonna be able to eat dinner.
you might still have an outhouse or something. I mean, you know,
Oh.
it's different being country than it is being southern. It definitely is a
Mm.
difference.
Oh my goodness, that's so triggering. Outhouse. When I was a kid, a long time ago, I was a kid. I did not know our church went on a bus trip somewhere, and we had to pull over. We're traveling down this long country road. There were no restaurants or anything, no gas stations, so we were able to finally pull over. And this small family, very nice, they invited us into their home, but we had to go to use the out. It was an outhouse out back. I was
Mm.
like, what in the world? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Are you
Mm.
serious? That was very traumatizing for me, because I was like, if you make one wrong step, you basically in a world ish.
Yeah, you know what?
Right.
And
Like,
you mess
oh
around.
heck no.
You mess around, sit there too long, a snake will crawl up your butt. I mean, so much stuff you got to look out for.
Sir.
I'm just telling you.
PG-13.
Them outhouses. Woo. I'm not interested.
So I take it that you visited at least one before.
Yeah, at least, and I'm not interested.
Wait a minute, we'll see what Ellen V is saying. I like Akia. They
Akia.
call it Akia. That's what they call Akeisha. I like Akia and her hubby. Yeah, I really like him. He's another teddy bear like Chris, And I actually, it's funny because I typically don't like guys with long hair when guys start letting their hair grow long. But I actually liked his braided hairstyle. I thought that was really handsome on him.
Yeah, he's a big guy too.
Big guy, absolutely. Yeah. He said he was on the way up the stairs of that house that they were looking at. He said, "Don't they have an elevator in this sucker?"
I don't like stairs. I mean, being a former football player, he probably dealt with some knee injuries and things like that.
That's what I was thinking about that too. I said, yeah, he probably did. Well, at least the master bedroom and all the living spaces on the main level. So their master bedroom was right. They had access to the pool and everything.
Right.
LMV, okay, maybe that's another thing there. Okay. When I think country, D says, when I think country, I think trailer park for some reason. Yeah.
It's just backwoods stuff. It's the backwoods, you're out there in the woods, you got a shack out there, and that's
simple.
country.
I think when I think country, I think simple. I think like very unpolished, maybe,
not a whole lot of amenities, if any.
Yes. Like not a lot of comfort features that those of us from the north would sometimes take for granted. Like, you live in a house that's got a couple of bathrooms rather than just one bathroom or an outhouse. That's definitely not comfort. I just think not a lot of comfort, but the Southern thing is different because, like you said, Southern is a location and a spirit of hospitality, but not necessarily country, though.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But and so what do you think? In this next scene, we see Latrice. I keep all these loves in here. Throwing me off. Latrice and Essie. Essie comes to the
invading. She invaded.
She invaded. She came in like she wasn't coming to play. What did you think of that? She comes in and just really lets herself be known as she wants to get things straightened out, ironed out about Marie and Latrice.
I mean, again, you had your point about it being a job. They want these women on screen together because it's a job. They got to do their job together. But again, I'm like, why is it important? I mean, they can be cordial, but why is it important that they be friends? Why is it important that people continue to go, oh, well, if you just apologize and keep doing the same dance over and over again, okay? Nobody's going to see fault in the situation. You're going to have to let that one ride, okay? And for the first few minutes, they're going back and forth, Essie and Latrice, about who got the better hair product. Right.
Well, right. Because Essie says, hey, she's a licensed cosmetologist, and apparently so is Marie. And I take it that Latrice is not a licensed cosmetologist, but she doesn't have to be to sell hair. It's like, if you go into a shop, a beauty shop owned by the Korean people or the Asian people, you don't have to have a license to sell the products.
No. And Latrice was like, well, it's good to know that I paved the way for the hair industry in this area. And Essie took offense at that. Like, listen, we've been here doing this. You didn't pave nothing. We've been here doing this. We got products of our own. So they kind of went back and forth as men would do. We say these men do this, measuring penises. This what they do. You know, I guess,
Kind of a little bit of a peeing contest. Well,
yeah,
it was interesting because Essie said, "Well, you know what? You're in the hood, but I'm in Dogwood." And I love Latrice's comeback to that. She said, "Yeah, but I'm global, and you're just in Dogwood."
right.
So she's like, "Hey, you might be in the suburbs, but them the only people buying your product. My stuff is being sold all over the world."
Yeah. So they were taking shots at each other. And I guess then Essie finally said, "Well, look, anyway, I guess 'cause she figured after that shot, she can't take no more." So she said, "Well, anyway, I came here to resolve this issue."
Hmm.
And D says, I think that they think it's a big misunderstanding that can be resolved with a conversation. How many
Right.
conversations that they're going to have, though, D? That's my question. They're having all these conversations, and it's
But
not
Marie,
being resolved.
but listen, but wait a minute, hold on. Let's be honest. Marie never really heard Latrice out that last time at the brunch. She was so upset, she was so angry, she was so in her feelings that she never allowed her to say more than 3 or 4 words when they, just had to remove Latrice from the bathroom situation, which I thought was dangerous. Personally, I'm not going in no bathroom being trapped in there with some woman that's got it out for me, thinking that I ruined her business. I'm not going in the bathroom
Exactly.
like that. If I
Exactly.
do, I better. I'm going to have my girls with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because the only 2 women were in there were the 2 women that were really closest friends, which was Letitia and Marie. I'm not going in that bathroom to apologize. Why?
Yeah, it's like
And, and then and doing it in the moment when she's at the height of her anger. That's crazy. I don't
and,
know who
and,
thought that through.
and that's why I mean when I was saying in the last podcast that Letitia should have just let Marie walk, because when they're at the height of their
Yeah.
emotion like that, see,
Yep.
Marie can go from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. Okay, when she gets in her feelings, there's
Right.
no all she see is red, and Marie has blinders on when she's in her feelings. So you gotta let her go and give her a day or two to calm down and see a different perspective. You can't get in the heat of that discussion trying to change her mind. That's not going to happen.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
I don't know. I think they're trying to push this friendship, maybe for the sake of the show. I don't
You
know,
keep
but
saying friendship. I have to disagree with you. It's not necessarily about friendship, like we were talking about before. It's like working together. It's a spirit of collaboration. It doesn't have to be a friendship, but it is.
they want them to
Uh,
like each other, Aubrey. That's what they want them to like. They don't like each other.
well, but they have to resolve things, and that's what I'm saying. I see it. Maybe Essie was talking up the friendship thing, but for me, I'm just saying they have to be able to work together. And again, in the reality show realm, they could be helpful to other women and other people, showing them how to resolve issues. That's You have issues. That's a fact of life. We all have
Mm,
issues, whether it be our partner, whether it be our husband, our boyfriend, lover, our children, our
mm,
parents, right? We all have issues at times with different people, and sometimes, a lot of times, they're with people that are closest to us that we love. The show could be helpful in showing us how to resolve those issues, though. And they don't have to have a friendship, but what they do have to have is respect for one another. They
mm-hmm,
have to learn how to respect each other and how to get along. That's the
mm-hmm.
thing. Like what they do, like let's say they don't even see each other the rest of the time when they're not filming. Who cares? But don't start up stuff like, for example, on social media. If you're going to start slinging stuff and information on social media, then they're never going to get along.
Yeah, because a lot of them are doing that. Yeah.
And I think that was part of what happened last season. I think there was somebody, I don't remember all the details. I'm going to have to look into that and report back. But I think there was some kind of incident that kind of got us to where we are now.
Yeah, and we spoke about this last night when we was covering Ready to Love, that they're on social media slinging stuff back and forth. Looney and a couple of other people.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, last night with our Ready Love guys. If you
right.
haven't already, go over and check that out. That's already getting top reviews as being one of the best panel reviews of Ready to Love Miami. So go over and check that out. We're also covering that all the way through the season, and we've also brought in a lot of cast members, former cast members from Ready to Love franchise. So definitely go over there and check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, a lot of fun last night. A lot of fun.
Lot of fun, a lot of good times. What is LMV saying? You want to read that?
LNV, Marie didn't hear Latrice because she started off with a lie. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And our moderators are working really hard getting all the links out here. So you guys go and check Alex out at Magnetic Repellent. Something about a magnetic. What is the name of your channel? Tell the people. Tell the people. Tell the people.
It's Magnetic Repellent because I'm going to say stuff to attract you, but inevitably I will say something to turn you off. Thus the repellent.
Oh Lord! It's all I think about. I just keep thinking about bug spray when I hear that repellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna bug the hell out of you too. I'm gonna do that on the channel.
Oh my Lord! Oh my Lord! Let me see what D is saying. Getting back to the review and recap, D says it appeared the only thing that Latrice did was stopped her journalist friend from reporting on her and Letitia, and said she didn't care if she reported on Marie. Marie had downed her hair. Yeah, Marie had downed her hair business in the first season, so she didn't care if this journalist friend reported on Marie's business and whatever was thrown around as a rumor, allegedly or whatever.
Right, she was allegedly doing something illicit in there, whatever, and Marie took offense at that.
I can't say that I blame her though. She said she didn't care if this other person reported it or not. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I get it. I get it. Like I get it. I don't see what, and it's like last season that Marie, all she did was down Latrice's business, her hair, every episode she was talking about it so bad. So like you should see, if you feel like it's so bad, you should see like what you did to her business. She doesn't take that into consideration at all, I don't think.
Yeah, and Ellen's next comment is very powerful because it's very true. If you go right below this one, something Ellen said.
Here we go.
Yeah, Ellen says downing here is not comparable to Medicare fraud, though. It's really, when you got any kind of fraud in the medical industry, that is huge.
Well, you're right, Ellen V. You are absolutely right. I'm not saying that is comparable, but the thing about it is, wasn't it? My understanding is someone else who reported it and put it out there that spread it like globally or on the internet, on Beyonce's internet, right? So I don't know. It's not comparable at all, but
no,
I don't know.
Really not.
I don't know who's responsible. You're going to have a hard time really saying you caught whomever who really started it. We don't really know. And I don't feel like Marie really knows either. She's still got her business apparently, and she's even grown to a methadone center, right? So I don't know. I just really don't know. And I feel like if you can't really nail it unless you got actual physical evidence, it's getting time to move on now, for Marie to move on.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if rumor get around that you sell bad hair, people will just stop coming there, or they might post something on social media that's bad or whatever. But when you're in the medical field and people talking about you're a fraudulent medical, the government comes after you. Okay, that's totally different.
Right. Well, yeah, and Ellen is saying, I was thinking, I said, you're misspelling her name. I see you intentionally. Latrice spread it first. Essie says she put it on the internet, and Latrice even admitted to it. Okay. I give them. If that's what she did, that was definitely wrong. So, but now what you gonna do? Are you gonna stay on the show, or are you gonna leave the show? But we see, but we're gonna go ahead and finish up this last scene, which is Glenn and his wife, Letitia. Yeah. All these loves. Oh god.
Yeah, these loves and Ishas and all this stuff. They tongue twisters.
They are tongue twisters for sure. I'm trying to see if I can find that note card, but
this was a heavy one. This was a heavy one for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm gonna start it off while you find a note card.
I don't think I have it. I think we're just gonna have to roll with it. But we know what it is. We know
what it is.
We know Glenn is begging, and he doing his okra, his slimy okra act.
Yeah. First of all, he's really gaming because he's gaming really hard this time, maybe harder than he did before, but it's still game. Okay. So what he's doing is, did you notice when he said to her, she said, "Oh, I'm just worried about Jesus and the God in me," and he's like, "What is that? All that's in you? As long as that's all that's in you, you know."
Oh yeah. I was
Right?
like, what in the world? See, I would have been offended. See, he wouldn't have got me with that because I would have took offense to that. I don't like when men talk up under my skirt. Don't worry about what's in me. You not in me, so don't worry about it.
And that's because he really don't care about his relationship with his wife, his son, their home, nothing. He's
Really?
concerned with what she do with her vagina. This is an ego thing. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I know Letitia got men coming at her because she's a
Yeah, of
beautiful
course.
woman.
She's
Okay,
beautiful.
she running her own business. She doing all. I know she got dudes coming at her. Okay, so the last line of defense for him, as far as he know, nobody been up in there but him. But he wants to save it. He love her. He this, and all the third, right? But I'll be very interested to know if she had a illicit night with one guy one time, how would
Mm.
Glenn respond to that? You know
Oh,
what Glenn would do? He would
freak.
lose his damn mind.
He would freak out. Yeah, he
He
would.
would
Right.
lose his mind. This is all ego. They've been together since they were 17 years old. So to a man's mind, this is my stuff. Her stuff belongs to me. Nobody else belongs there. Now he can do what he want to do with his private parts, but nobody else belong. He's very territorial when it comes to her body. Okay, so if another dude gets there, all hell gonna break loose. I guarantee you. That's all he cares about. And this is a man
Right.
telling you, I've been there, I've done that, I've watched so many other men do it. I know better than that now. So game knows game. Game knows game.
Oh, so
Simple
you
as that.
recognized it for what it was. Because I was like, first of all, I was like, why is you worrying about whether Jesus is in me, God is in me, or something else is in me? That right there I found very offensive because he's very lowbrow. I don't like men who aren't gentlemen. You aren't going to sit up here and talk about my private area like that. We in a public restaurant. And this is the best you can do. You wanted to meet with me and try to charm me, and this is the best you could do is worried about who I'm seeing and what I'm doing with my body, dude. But you done been all over the streets making babies with other women on the side. You worried about my body? I'm not the one out here having random babies with different strange men. You're the one out here don't even know, haven't taken the test yet to find out if this 8-year-old child is your baby. You don't even know. You don't even know.
And what's that old saying?
And he gets lonely. Wait a minute, let me get back to high
Lonely.
five. Yeah, because it's a part in there where he says, well, I'm like, he, like you said, he's just a real gamer. He's like, but I get lonely, and like she said, read a book.
Right, you get lonely, so
you ever heard of reading?
You get
reading
lonely,
is
so
fundamental.
he took the mental part out and just figured it's fun. He wants to have fun.
That's
because
all
he gets bored.
To do. That's all he wants to do. Like I said, when I told you this before, and I'm gonna say it again, a lot of these men out here running around in these streets, married, single, living with somebody, they're shacking up, but they all got this W mentality in this culture, and that's from the streets. That's from their dads, the fathers that weren't around. That's from them because the father did the same thing, made babies all over town, and never raised a one. So that's Glenn. Like that's why he can come over to her mother and talk to her mother. We don't even know. I don't know anything about his family.
His father left.
He said that. Yeah, he did. He said that his father left. He said that he respected his father as a man. I'm trying to understand, how do you respect your father as a man? What he maybe what he meant was, to me, in my mind, if I had a father like that, thank God I didn't, I would have said I respected my father as a person. Right. Because I do believe in the word in the Bible, honoring thy mother and thy father, so that your days may be long. I do believe that. And I think that even if your mom or dad is a drug addict, if they're a philandery man like his dad obviously was, I will respect him and honor him as this is the person that brought me forth. But, I'm sure there had to be some other male that was in his life. I cannot respect him. When he said he respected him as a man, I said, yeah, you for the streets. That's why. You're the kind of guy that you like to bump fists with other guys that's out here whoring around. You like that stuff. That's who you are. And like she said, you give access to all these other women because you're nasty like that. You're nasty and you're low down. Point blank, period.
And he said he figured his father probably figured he gave me life. His job is done after that. Forget the rearing, the raising, or whatever.
Wow. So you got 18, 20, 25 years, like you always say, 25 years till your brain is cooked, but you let this guy off the hook. So why
Mm.
are you even around for your son? If this is the kind of guy that you admire, this is the kind of behavior that you admire, why are you even around for your son? Why are you even coming back to your wife talking about you want to be with her? What's the point, Glenn? What's
And
the
I don't,
point?
and I don't want him using his father as an excuse either for his behavior, because that's what a lot of
Right.
guys do that too. You know,
Really?
I didn't know what being a real man was because my father left. I didn't know what that was like, so I'm learning on the fly, and then you learning on the fly, and everybody else is bed. Okay, so you ain't got no problems there, but you got a problem being loyal to the woman you say you love. And this is where we get in trouble, Aubrey, because you and I have had these discussions in the past. We had these discussions on the podcast. I know that marriages run the course when you get some people get married at 17, 18, they're together till they leave this place. My point always is when you get married at that age, if you make it to run that course, you're going to go through a whole bunch of ish. And the problem is, can real marriages, real strong people survive that? And this is what I'm talking about. Because young men, a 17-year-old boy, he gonna run the streets and get all this stuff out of his system at your expense. There's no way around that. Very few men at 17 or 18 will be faithful throughout the rest of their life with one woman. Very few. Is it possible? Yes, but very few. And I'm gonna stand by that.
Well, I think that's your point. That's your ideal. I'm gonna go here with that. Okay. Glenn is the kind of guy, if he married at 17 or started a relationship with Letitia at 17, 18, if he started a relationship with her at 38, he hasn't changed. Okay. There are men and there are women that can be faithful throughout their whole entire life to one partner. Okay. So what I don't really care about is you saying that you can get married young. You want to use that as your defense. It's not a defense for Glenn. Glenn could have married her 5 years ago. He still would have been cheating. And I want to look at the behavior of this particular person. And I want to say that this is a culture, this is a background that he comes from. He admitted that his own father, he didn't know his father. His father was out there slinging, as you like to call it, right?
Right.
And I'm just saying that to me it's a culture and he hasn't changed. And then the other thing about it that I noticed, he doesn't even offer her a good apology. He was like, when she started when when Letitia went in on him, and she was going in at the end, she was going in like, you do this to me, you hurt me, you use me, you play me, you just keep playing me, I'm tired. And she was just going on and really letting him have it in this public restaurant, right? And he was like, well, hold on, listen, hold up. That's the past. That's the
Right.
best. That's the best excuse you can give, sir, is that's the past.
It's
Are you
always
are you
easy.
serious?
It's
Are you
always
really serious?
easy, Aubrey. It's always easy for the person that inflicted the hurt to talk that mess. I
Of
said
course.
sorry, just forgive me, because you're not feeling that pain, and that's why I said it's almost imperative that she go sleep with another guy. I know she's probably not going to do it, but I'll be very interested to see his response. How would he act from that moment on if
Well,
he found out another guy laid with her?
you know what? That's just for the streets too, though. That's that whole mentality. You going back to Charlana and Otis. You know, petty for petty doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah, remember
Doesn't get
them?
you anywhere. Yeah, I do. I
Remember
do. And
them?
I don't like what you just said. I'm gonna just
Mhm.
tell you because that don't get you anywhere. You wanna, as a man, you wanna fight fire with fire, but that's ridiculous.
Listen.
That's
Oh,
ridiculous. Why am I? Hold on. I'm gonna
mhm.
let you speak.
Okay.
Let me have my say. As a woman, why am I gonna use my body for garbage? For some man to deposit in me that's some strange spirit. You talk about before, you talked about soul ties. Why am I doing that? Now, if I'm gonna be with somebody, guess what? Here's the thing: you and I are done. And it ain't no going back. And that's why I say over and over again on this podcast, I don't believe in this back and forth crap that people do. Because, like you said, she has taught him that he can continue to come back to her. He can continue to re-up. He can
She
continue
sure
to
did.
redo. And that's not happening with me. I say when women set their foot down, stop putting up with these philandering, whorish men. Stop it. Let them know that this is it. I mean, like, I'm not saying that there's never going to be a situation, especially when you're married to a man and you have a child or children with this man, your husband. I'm not saying that there's never a time when you don't forgive infidelity. But what we are going to do, we're going to be in counseling. We're going to be doing a whole lot of things differently. We really are. And you're going to be a whole lot more accountable to me. And if you got a problem with that, sir, if you got a problem with me knowing where you are every second of the day and having a tracker on you, then you know what? Get to stepping.
And you know what? You misunderstand. I understand what you're saying though, because you don't go out and just find anybody to use your vagina as a dumping ground to hurt him. So what I'm saying, I know she's not going to do that. She's not that type of woman. Okay. What I'm just saying is, I would be curious because I know his game already.
Exactly.
I would be curious to see if that happened. Because sometimes that happens with women out of a moment of weakness. They're hurt, they're vulnerable, and they may end up in another guy's bed for whatever reason. Okay, it don't mean she's some kind of bad name, but she's been hurt to the degree she's just looking for comfort. Okay, everybody has reasons for what they do. Some selfish, some not. But he knows all he care about is protecting her body part. And once he no longer has control over that, that's when he's going to lose it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think he might as well go ahead and lose it. And this whole idea, this whole crockery. No, listen, this whole crockery of he went to a couple of 2-3 sessions and he wanted to know where she is, where she was. Sir, don't worry about where I am. I'm not the one out here with the extra kid. You are. So why don't you sit down with that therapist and work through some stuff by yourself? Even though it might have been initially said for couples counseling, sir, you are the problem right here in this marriage. You are. Sit down and talk to that counselor and get yourself right. Get yourself right. Get yourself tight. Get control over your body parts. How about that? But, just like I said, this whole going back and forth. Somebody said it. High Vibe, was that you? Yes. Let me go back to that comment. Read that.
They both still behave like teenagers.
Absolutely. Exactly. So you're saying, and I get what you're saying. You're not saying necessarily you trying to charge her with that to go ahead and do that, to go ahead and cheat. I think you feel like, it sounds to me like you feel like, Alex, that if she did go out there and allow some man to woo her, lay with her, that now Glenn is going to be right. I don't think so.
He's not going to be right. He's going to lose his mind.
He's going to lose his mind. But not only that, then he's going to go back to, Glenn is going to do what he's always done. Because one, it's a habit, and habits are hard to break. Let's say that, right? Habits are hard to break, whether it's smoking, drinking, gambling, or whoring. Habits are hard to break. First of all, you got to have a reason. Why am I changing this attitude this time at this point in my life, in my middle life? He's middle aged. Okay, so
right.
What's going to make him change now? You think that it's having a beautiful, dedicated, devoted wife like Letitia, who's got her everything together. She's starring on the show. She's holding it down with the show. She's holding it down with their son. No, apparently not, because he's still out there cheating. So I don't know that maybe, like somebody said in a previous podcast earlier, maybe she's outgrown him.
That's highly possible, and I really starting to believe that, but she's kind of still stuck in that 17-year-old mindset, living the dream that she had then, not understanding that this relationship, this marriage may have just run its course. It may have. Nobody's advocating divorce or splitting up families or none of that, but it happens because sometimes things just simply run their course. Everything has its due season. That's biblical. Divorce may not be biblical, but everything has its due season. Is biblical. And you have to understand when the season is over. And I don't think she gets it. The only thing that's going to cure this situation, if they stay in this thing, is patience. And I don't think Glenn has it, because the patience that it's going to take to get her unequivocal trust back is going to take a lot of time.
He doesn't. He
You
doesn't
don't
because
you don't dig out of a 8-year hole in 3 months.
no, exactly. And I don't think he gets that because, like I said, remember in this scene where he was telling her, well, that's the past. That's the past. He didn't want to sit and listen. He didn't even have the patience. Like you just said, Glenn did not even have the patience to sit and let her bash him verbally. That's what you're going to have to take, Negro. That's what you're going to have to take. You're going to have to take me bashing you because you are I'm trying to keep it PG-13.
Yeah,
This guy makes me really angry. And you can't even sit and listen to me talk about you. You are a dog. You are behaving like a dog. That's all it is. And if you think that's slick, you think that's cool, you over there giving your brothers fist pounds and whatnot because you think that's cool, that's not cool. Dude, that's not cool. You're about to lose me, your son, and everything else. Because the other thing about that I just thought about, I, as a mother, would not want my son, and I know that's his father, I wouldn't want my son around him because I'm awfully afraid it's going to be a 3rd, 4th, 5th generation whoremonger. That's nasty. I'm sorry, that's nasty.
And listen, and you just said, he's saying, oh, how do we get past this? The past is the past. I'm sorry. If the shoe was on the other foot and she was saying that to him, would he accept it? It's the past. Let it go.
Oh no, he'd be in that restaurant turning over tables. He'd be out looking for the guy that she was allegedly
That's it.
with. He would not accept it. Like you said, his little fragile ego, he would have lost his mind.
That's why he could sit right up in there and walk in the door. Oh yeah. So what's up, baby? Oh, I just got Jesus and the thing about the God in me. That's all that been in you. It shows you right there where his focus is.
Yeah, you're right. That's an excellent point, Alex. That is really a spot on. Like you said, that's all he really cared about. He don't really care about her. He don't care about his marriage. He don't care about the commitment that he sat there and made 10, 11, 12 years ago, whatever, when they went to the altar and they said those words before God and before their family and friends. He doesn't care. He doesn't really care. Glenn was not prepared. He's never prepared himself. And I don't care what age you are. I don't care if it's 18. I don't care if it's 25, 35, 45, 55. I don't care. A man, just like a woman, a man, especially a man, though, has to prepare himself to be a husband. That takes preparation. That takes financial preparation, emotional preparation, physical preparation, and you really got to get yourself right. Is this really what you want? Because if you don't, just say so. Don't take these women to the altar and say, I promise to be faithful. I promise I'm going to cleave only to you. I'm going to step away from my mom and my dad, and I'm going to build a family with you. Don't say those words. Tell her what it really is. Hey, babe, I'm a whore. I like cookie. I like all kinds of cookie. Tall cookie, slim cookie, fat cookie, thin
chocolate
cookie.
chip.
I like chocolate chip. I like white chocolate. I like it all, baby. Okay, this is what it is, baby. I'm saying I take care of you physically, but you know what? I really can't be there emotionally for you because I'm still a male. I'm not a man. I'm just a male. That's what I am.
But you know what's interesting too, and I'm gonna say this: men will really, literally be surprised or shocked what women will accept if you just upfront and honest with them. Because I've been in that situation. I'm out in the street when I was younger. I'm out doing wrong. I'm wrong all day. I'm out there meeting women and got a woman home, right? And I tell these women, me and my girl live together. We got a kid. We doing our thing. Yeah. And she, I got my man home too. So me and you could do this outside that. If you're just honest with them, they may agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just let a person know where they stand. That's what's important. Let them make the decision. Then they could never say later, you lied to me. No, you accepted this. I didn't lie.
Yeah. But he knew, I think the thing of it is, and you bring up an excellent point, but I feel like the quality of woman that Letitia was, or girl, because 17, a girl,
right?
But growing into a woman, okay, I feel like the quality of person that Letitia was, he wanted that. See, sometimes a lowbrow person wants a high character quality person, but they don't qualify for that high character person. They don't qualify. So then they lie. They lie because they want, he also had the ideal of a white picket fence and a faithful woman at home. Not a woman that he got to worry about is his friend over here and his friend over there messing around while he's off working hard. He knew that he didn't have to worry about that Letitia with Letitia. That's why he picked her. And I feel like that's why he lied. He wanted a high quality woman, but he was a low quality fella.
And that's why all these years later, he's worrying about, I hope nothing else ain't up in you but God. All these years later, he's still worrying about that. Unbelievable. Shows you he hasn't grown up at all.
Read what Roro says on the screen.
No generational hoe hopping. So, that it happens a lot. It's genetic. You know, it gets in your genetic
tell you
makeup.
before, I said it. I really honestly believe that sometimes in our African American culture is a part of certain culture, certain subsets within the African culture, not the entire culture. I didn't grow up in it, but I do know that there are a lot of males that did, and they are unthinking and not critical thinkers when they decide that they are not going to be able to change that way, and they continue through their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s.
Yeah,
you got
life.
somebody on, their whole life. You got somebody, and I'm not gonna drop no names though. You got a guy on Ready to Love Miami right now, like almost 50 years old, and talking about he was with a woman for 7 years. She wanted to get married. So he went out finally and bought her a ring, and then the next day he asked for it back. Like, that's basically this guy. Now, what's going to happen to him, allegedly, in my mind, in my imagination, he's going to get, he's fine and healthy now. So 15, 20 years from now, he'll be, almost 70, and he'll be kind of worn down. Now he's going to be looking for a wife.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be looking for somebody to take care of him, because that's what some of these guys out here do. They run the streets. They know they don't want to be married. There's no way on God's green earth that I ever would have spent 7 years with the same man and let him waste my time for 7 years and talking about I wanted to be married. He would have known that up front. And after year 1.5, if we're not making plans toward that, it's adios. See you later, sucker. And there's no redos. That's why I say women that keep doing these redos with these guys, what are you doing? You're wasting your time, because you got a clock. You got a biological clock. He don't have no biological clock as to when he has children, but we do.
Right. And women got to stop accepting the shut up engagement rings. 7 years, 8 years, 5 years. That's not an engagement. Engagements don't take 6, 7 years. An engagement ring is an anticipatory gift in anticipation of marriage. That's what an engagement ring is for. So once you give an engagement ring, at least within the next year or two, you guys have to be planning that wedding.
Oh yeah, okay? We have to set a date. I once gave back a very expensive, very beautiful ring to a gentleman because I absolutely and I had set the time limit. He met it. We got engaged, had a beautiful engagement and everything. But when I couldn't set a date, I began to really do a lot of introspection within myself. And I had to say, I couldn't set a date because I wasn't ready to marry this gentleman.
Right.
So I had to give him his ring back.
And you have to know that.
He didn't ask for it, but I had to give it back to him. Now, the very, very gorgeous, beautiful, expensive ring.
I know it's hard to give that back.
I almost cried. But you have to be real. You have to be real. I wasn't going to be the Glenn in this situation and go through with it, and then not really feel like I could be committed to this person. I wasn't going to do that. And to this day, we're actually very good friends. We remain the best of friends, because you got to know when something is not working for whatever reason. Nothing bad that he did, nothing like that, but just you feel like it's not going to be a lifelong possibility or potential. You got to understand it. But I'm not going to waste my time. I don't understand women today. I mean, it's like women are going backwards in their understanding of men. Like, why would you date somebody for 7 years? Like 7 years of girlfriend, for real? Shacking for 7 years? You don't have no rights. He up and dies on you in the night, has a heart attack. His family coming to put you out, because all that stuff, it goes to the next of kin. And when you're not married, you ain't next to kin.
And you know about men that get separated for 20 years. They have a 20-year girlfriend and never divorced their wife. And then they pass away. And the wife who ain't seen this man in 20, 25 years gets
That happened to an
everything.
aunt of mine. That
Gets
happened to
everything.
that happened to an aunt of mine. She was living with this engineer guy, great income, great, established, educated, everything. Treated her like a lady, except he wouldn't marry her. And I never understood, like, when I came into the situation, I didn't know all the ins and out, but I found out shortly, like, he got cancer. He got sick, his own children, and this estranged wife that he had in the background that I didn't know about until when he passed away. Nobody came to see him while he was sick, dying with cancer, except my aunt, who was his shacked up girlfriend, right?
Right.
And when he died, they allowed her. She got so excited. The family allowed her to make the plans for the funeral. She came back from the funeral, and I think I'm not sure if it was that day or right after that they had changed the locks, and they allowed her to get her stuff out. But all of his thing, his home, everything, she had no access to any of his benefits, none of his retirement, not his insurance. The insurance after when you pass away, 100,000, 500,000, whatever. She has no access to that. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. You're gonna be with me. I'm getting all benefits. Medical, health, dental, the whole works.
Could you imagine being with somebody 20 years, unmarried, they never divorced their wife, then they pass away, and you get nothing out of 20 years of life with this person, and the woman they haven't seen in 20 years still get the house and the policies? Because that's all the law recognizes.
That's it. That's it. These people talking about this common law marriage. I'm trying to figure out, what is you talking about, common law marriage? Yeah, in some states that is a thing, but I was taught early on in college that here's the thing: a contract is written down on paper. Mm-hmm. So, like a marriage, people always say, well, what's marriage? It's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, verbal contract. We got a verbal contract.
Well, last time I checked, money is still printed on paper, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right for the paper. Last time I checked, your college degree and your high school diploma, it was printed on paper.
Your driver's license.
Your driver's license, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's got that little plastic around it, but basically, right, it's a piece of paper. It's paper. Your birth certificate, piece of paper.
Right.
Your death certificate, when you want to claim that somebody has died, guess what? You can't claim. You just can't go to the insurance company and say, well, my husband Joe passed away. He's dead. Guess what?
Google it. Yeah, go Google it.
No, you need a piece of paper. That's called the death certificate. So the whole world, our legal system is based on paper, guys. Mm-hmm. So in case people don't really get that through their heads, they don't understand. You got some guy telling you he loves you, and it's a spiritual marriage. We've seen this on a couple of these dating shows too, where the guy said, "Oh, we're gonna have a spiritual marriage." Well, knock yourself out with that spiritual marriage, because last I checked, they don't have no dental benefits with it. Spiritual marriages. So you ladies want to keep continuing to allow men to play you. That's the oldest game in the book. Look at shacked up.
Look at Francis Robinson. That happened to my grandma too. Look at Monique King comment below Francis. My aunt got everything when her separated 25 years from her husband died. His girlfriend of 20 years got nada. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not the one. That's so foolish to me. Like, why are you gonna be shacked up with a man? And here's the thing: you running around washing his dirty drawers. You doing all this. You dropping it low and spreading it wide for him in the evening.
You gonna wash my drawers now? Now come on, Aubrey. Now you gonna wash my drawers now? Now cut this mess out now. Now I gotta put my foot down now. Now you're making me mad. You gonna wash my drawers?
Soon as my last name is Mrs. Leath, yeah. Soon as my last name is Mrs. W. Leath, oh yeah, I'm washing. I'm gonna pay the cleaning lady to wash them, but whatever. But no, I don't do that. I don't do shacked up. I have never in my life, and I'm over 50. I've never shacked up with any man. I've only been married and lived with the man. I don't do that shacking thing. We ain't doing no trials. We ain't doing none of that. Like, no, we're gonna get married, or not. That's okay. That's your prerogative. You go on, because see, if you're looking for that low level woman, you can find her out here. But I'm not low level like that. So it's not. It's just not. It is what it is. But But what do you think? We'll be back next week with this. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
find out more, like what, like, because apparently it looks like Letitia is actually going to have a date with her husband. I guess he whined and begged and pleaded long enough that
Once she started
is
crying,
so
I said, she done. She threw.
and he reached over and actually wiped her tears. See, you know what? That's when I would have chose violence. He would have reached over to touch me to wipe away my tears. I would have smacked the heck out of him.
He ain't never done that for her in his life, and he know it. But he want to do it
Yeah.
now with the cameras rolling.
Okay, that's what I thought too. That was a camera move, wasn't it?
Hey, DeSosa, what's up?
There go your is that your YouTube wife?
Yeah, DeSosa, the ring is almost paid for. All right now.
What's Mimi saying? We got a couple more and we're gonna close this out. We're gonna have our benediction.
Mimi says, yep, my dad had an over 20-year relationship. I put her in the program as a dear friend. Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's another thing. You're gonna call. I've been washing your dad's drawers. I've been dropping it low and spreading it wide. And the best mention I get is as a dear friend. I'm not the wife. I'm not the wife of 20 years. I'm not the love of his life. Oh, hell no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I said it. Hell no.
Yeah,
No way. There's no
crazy.
way I'm putting all my love and nourishment into one person for such a long period of time, and we ain't got no paper. We're gonna have some paper. We're gonna have lots of paper. And I tell you, every 5 years we're gonna renew our files.
This is his dear friend Aubrey. His dear friend Aubrey.
Oh no. I'm still hurt over that. I mean, seriously, they allowed her to bury this man. And I mean, you know, the kids didn't come around. The estranged wife didn't come around when he was laying up in the hospital crying in pain. You know, anybody knows anything about cancer, people that have cancer that die from it, they're in horrific pain. Horrific.
Yep.
None of those people were around, but guess what? They all came around and collected the benefits because
sure did.
Because why? They had the paper. The children had the birth certificates with his name on it. The wife had the marriage license with his name on it, okay?
Right.
And his signature, right?
Right.
So tell me paper doesn't matter. I tell you a fool. People talking about these big time ballers, you know, NFL, NBA, a few black people still left in the baseball league, because I mean, no, really, it's fallen down in the last couple of decades. But what I'm saying, but guess what? You know, people talk about it, their lifestyle. What do they all have in common? They all have a contract, which is what?
Legally binding, and it's paper.
And legally binding paper. It's on paper, right? Nobody ever accepted a contract for $20 million verbally. And just said, oh, well, I'm gonna trust you that everything you're telling me, I'm just gonna trust you, and we don't even have to write that down. No, anything big in this world, and that may sound worldly, but it's a fact. It happens on paper.
Yeah.
It's legitimized and it's held up in court because why? Because it's on paper and it's been signed by both parties and agreed to. The conditions of the contract have been agreed to, and that's what marriage is. It's about love, but it's also you said it before.
It's a business arrangement.
It's a business arrangement, and I don't understand why women don't get that. You want coverage. I had a young lady at my church. She was shacked up with this guy, and we kept trying to talk to her, and she finally got it. She said, "Oh, if something happened to him, I wouldn't be covered." We're like, "Hell no, you wouldn't be covered." You'd be covered right on out of that house that you're living in with him, that beautiful house. You think you'd be covered? No. Your mom was married to your dad. You see how that works? You know, she was sensible. So now you think you're gonna come behind your mom and everything that you've been taught, but you're gonna do it new style. You modern woman, you strong black woman. You don't want no coverage. You know, you got a great job, so you got all your medical and dental through your own job. But let something happen to him, because you guys are meeting the financial expectations of those bills together, because you live in such a beautiful, fancy house, right? You couldn't meet all those obligations by yourself, right? But if something were to happen to him, you're not covered.
Right.
You're not covered.
Nope, not at all. So I'll tell you, this subject, this Glennon thing, this ran us way over, Aubrey.
I mean, I'm just passionate about it because I saw what happened to my aunt. And I mean, seriously, that put her in a depression for a very long time. That put her in a financial bind for a very long time.
Look, that'll make you want to check out of here. You know?
Right.
For real.
Right. Right.
Unbelievable.
I
So
mean, you
yeah,
have any final thoughts? You have any final thoughts? Like if you were to advise, let's say like your daughter, if you were to advise young women today that are thinking about shacking up for 10, 15, 20 years with a fella, if a young woman came to you for advice, what would you advise her?
I would say a great indicator of future behavior is past behavior. Look at the past behavior. Look deep before you leap. Okay, forget about what people say. Watch their behavior. Because people can say anything. But when you watch their behavior, when you stand back and listen to them, listen to what they say, how they interact with their friends, how they interact with their mamas. Just watch them. That's all you have to do. And they'll tell you everything you need to know just by watching them. But you have to want to pay attention. You have to want to know the truth. See, if you don't want to know the truth, then you're going to block all the red flags out anyway. But if you really want to know, sit back, watch, observe. You don't even have to talk a lot. Watch and observe. And then that gut instinct that we're given, that God-given gut instinct. Okay, you're not being paranoid. Listen to that. That's why you have it. It's our own God-given alarm system.
Right, right. You know something is jinky. He's saying it. It sounds good. You're sleeping with him. That peeing and that eggs is good. The peeing and the hot wings is good. But at the end of the day, inside, there's something churning inside of you saying, I'm not safe with this guy. I'm not
Right.
safe. And I'm not talking about physical, any type of
Your heart
physical
isn't
hurt.
safe.
Your heart isn't safe. You are
Mhm.
not secure because why? Because he doesn't care enough about you to commit to you, to make that commitment of marriage or whatever it is that you need. Because maybe you don't need a marriage, and I'm gonna have to bring her on the air. We've got a lady, a former judge here, which was a classmate of mine, who talks about there are other ways though to secure yourself. There's a gentleman can get an insurance policy, a life insurance policy, put you on it, let you hold on to that paper so that when he croaks, when he goes on in, because we're all leaving this place, as Alex likes to say,
Mm-hmm.
that if he leaves first, you got insurance, you got $500,000, you got
Right.
$250,000, or depending on whatever your lifestyle is, whatever his lifestyle is, and how much of a high wage earner he is, you're covered. So that if you're going to do this shacking thing, at least
Get
you
some
and whatever,
insurance.
and certainly if you got children, definitely the children should be covered. There definitely should be a policy for your children, so that if he should pass away and they're 15, 16, 17, or even 20, they should be able to go to college, and those things should be taken care of through that trust fund and that money that he has set up for them, that
Mm.
insurance policy. So there's ways. We're going to have to bring some of these people on, because I'm really passionate about this. I think that women really need to get down to the bottom of protecting themselves. They really do, in these relationships. And I don't mean just physically, I mean financially. Let's just face it.
Right.
Everything we do in the world pretty much costs money.
Because we've learned in the last 20 something odd years, very fairly recently, that there was also something known as financial abuse, not just physical abuse, not just mental and emotional, but financial abuse.
Very good point. Very good point. Well, you want to tell them what you're doing over on magnetic repellent, Alex?
Yes, I'm gonna drop a couple of new videos tomorrow on my
Okay.
channel. So please go over there, like and subscribe. You guys, when we go off the air here, go over to Magnetic Repellent. I believe Ellen and Monique, who do such a great job moderating, they've put the links up. And go subscribe. I love for you guys to do that. Also, as far as actually Aubrey's channel, let's hit them cash apps. Let's join. Let's join the membership. Membership ranges from what, Aubrey? $2.99 up, something like
Yep,
that.
299 and up.
Yeah.
There's four different ranges, but yeah, we
Mhm.
started at a 299 and go up from there. Yep.
And
And we
there's a lot.
treat you good over here.
Yeah, a lot of perks going on for members and things like that. So just continue to support us. We'll keep bringing you this great content. Being open, honest, and upfront with you. But we really appreciate you guys being here all the time. We really do.
Really do. Thanks to our 18 members. And I forgot yesterday, guys. Charge it to my head and not my heart. But I want to thank LNV. I want to thank the lovely Monique and wonderful LNV for always being here on time, being our moderators, revving you guys up, moderating the chat, making sure that the chat is a safe place. I want to thank members Roro. I want to thank Ravine. I want to thank Jeremy, also a member. I want to thank you guys for being here so much. It really means the world to me. You guys have a safe and peaceful evening, and we'll see you in the next video. We're out.